I'm not a spy, so I'm not good at keeping intelligence. Is Malcolm Nance the next sexy liberal?
What?
Maybe.
Hey.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Jeez.
Oops.
Worst mom on Christmas ever.
I'd be Malcolm's easiest case. We wouldn't even need any torture at all. I'll just tell you. I'll tell you anything.
I'm not going to tell you any secrets. Here they are.
Malcolm, we are in, as I keep saying, the kitchen sink phase of this panic and desperation. There's this new Rudy Giuliani, New York Post, Hunter Biden email story out this morning. It's just, I am scared for these next 3 weeks, aren't you? To some extent? Okay.
No.
Good.
Here's what I am. I would be scared starting next Wednesday.
Okay.
Because I don't think they have pulled out what they think is their October surprise. Now, interestingly, I think I predicted this on this show that at some point, my belief was the October surprise would be an indictment of Joe Biden or Hunter Biden.
Aye.
And I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 2 weeks, Bill Barr announces an indictment of Hunter Biden through a secret grand jury, and then announces an investigation of Joe Biden and Barack Obama for Spygate on Donald Trump. Because it's an audience of one. These people this is the crazy crew all talking to themselves.
Yeah.
They are trying to motivate their base because they're in so much trouble. The base is all they have.
Yeah.
And so, as crazy as that sounds, I would not be surprised one bit, one iota, that that's precisely what happens. I was watching Morning Joe last week, and this subject of Trump tweeting that Obama and Biden should be arrested or should be investigated.
Yeah.
That's marching orders to Bill Barr. But Joe Scarborough said, he goes, you want to exceed black participation past 2008? Go after Obama.
Yeah.
Go after Obama.
Well, I mean, someone said it. It's funny you say that. Someone just said, where's Bill Barr been ever since the Rose Garden? It's like someone's lost track of a poisonous snake somewhere in the house.
Yeah.
That's so true. You better tweet that, or I'm going to be tweeting that out
No,
later.
somebody tweeted it. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is absolutely true. I mean, he's a wild weasel. He's just one of these things that's missing.
Yeah.
And you know, when you don't hear from him, you know he's doing something nefarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, we have to be prepared. October surprise has not yet come.
Yeah. And what about Russia? I mean, you know, it's so funny. All this stuff is airing now. You know, if you have insomnia like me, Agents of Chaos on HBO, the Comey Rule, I think on Showtime. You're just like, oh God, it's like this waking nightmare of how we got here, Malcolm, and what God knows what Russia exactly is doing, right, or is going to do. Nance, your thoughts?
Well, you know, it was 4 years ago that I started widely using the phrase chaos agents.
Yeah. Yeah.
That the Russians were acting as chaos agents in this operation. So I'll take that TV show title. But look, it is not Russia anymore that I think we need to watch out for. I think that they have transitioned from Russia being an amplification system that because it's received so much sunlight, it's very, very hard for them to put their fingers on the scale anymore. What they've done is they allowed the Trump campaign to create their own scales and their own
Yeah, they
ways.
become partners a long time ago. They just amplify whatever bull the Trump and his campaign are putting out there. Right, about you know, vote fraud and all this nonsense, right?
And vice versa. But, you know, Giuliani with these emails, whatever that's supposed to be, I haven't seen them yet, is definitely, all he wants in the air is indict.
Yeah. Is investigation of some kind. Someone's under, yeah.
But this was the plan we discovered in August of 2019.
Speaking of plot, by the way, speaking of plots and terrorism, your specialty. First of all, I know that you love Vanilla ISIS for these white supremacists.
What did Vanilla ISIS do now?
But I mean, you know that their plot included kidnapping Governor Northam of Virginia, in addition to Governor Whitmer. And again, where is Chris Wray in all this? Because I feel like he's speaking truth, which is always a liability if you work for Donald Trump, right? That he's saying right wing, white, supremacist terrorism is our number one thing. There is no vote fraud. I mean, Russia is interfering. He's been out there, right?
Yeah, and it's almost like the FBI has to carry out operations and investigations under the table
Yeah.
in order not to anger Trump, in order to actually catch people. We know that in the counterterrorism world, if you think you're talking to a terrorist group or someone who is facilitating your terrorist act, you're talking to the FBI. And these yahoos think, well, we're white guys with guns. We're going to get away with this. Their plot not only involved kidnapping and killing the governor of Governor Whitmer, but also killing the police around her, killing the police who would respond to that act, killing the police who were providing external perimeter security, then trying to go after the governor of Virginia, which means you would have to kill police. And I have these right wingers who were out there on Twitter saying, hey, this guy who took part in this plot, he was an anarchist. No, he was a hardcore 3%er Trumper. Yeah. And all of them in that plot were hardcore 3% Trumpers. But when they get caught, when they get found out by the FBI, who apparently now has to do investigations so that local law enforcement don't find out about it,
right.
Like that crazy sheriff up there
who
said they're innocent until proven guilty, and maybe they were doing a citizen's arrest. Really? By blowing up bridges, kidnapping the governor, transporting her to another state, then trying her and executing her for treason?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's the vanilla ISIS school of sheriffing there.
Yeah. Amy Coney Barrett isn't sure if that's illegal or not. She'd have to, it's a hypothetical that she doesn't want to. I mean, Malcolm, what are you most concerned about? Because clearly Trump has signaled he's going to do what he always does. He's going to litigate. He's going to sue. He's going to try and, throw this to the Supreme Court. I mean, the polls are showing it's not even anywhere close. And yet he's already, signaling that there is going to be, what's the word, Malcolm? Chaos.
Well, Trump has been saying that the polls are not, we know that the polls aren't close, but we've known for a long time, Trump doesn't want them, he wants to bring them down to the point where they are arguably close, 4 to 5 percentage points, so that he could say, this election was within the margin of the errors of the polls, and everything there was fraud. Therefore, I want to invalidate all of the mail-in ballots, for example. And, he thinks the Supreme Court's going to give it to him. That's not his goal. His goal is to use Bill Barr to stay in power so that on January 20th, 2021, he declares himself president.
Are you at all concerned about that?
Yeah, well, the point here that I'm trying to make, there's been I think that this vanilla ISIS plot being broken up has given us some grounds to believe that these people aren't really going to go to guns to a certain extent, because whatever they're talking about now, it's probably being recorded internally by someone in your group that's wearing a wire.
Right.
And you don't actually have to wear a wire for them to listen into your little secret vanilla ISIS plans. But that's not where you really have to be worried. Where you have to be worried is the theft of democracy in plain sight. Yeah. Believe me, the Republicans are 100% on board with Trump remaining in power. You cannot trust them. You cannot throw them as far, you can't believe a word they say. They would rather this country remain in sickness at this point. And clearly I have been warning you before, there has been a conference at some point about herd immunity.
Oh my God! Yeah,
well, sure.
That's the plan. Yeah,
acting as if it is happening. Republicans, DeSantis went to a giant rally with no mask, coughing into his hands, high-fiving people. These people are stupid. They think the virus is finished.
Yeah.
What will be finished is we will become a sickly nation.
And if you look at it, you can call it whatever you want. It's a third wave. We are going into it, whether it's winter or flu season or whatever. We're spiking again. We're 50,000 cases again. Yeah. Well, Malcolm,
listen. Go to your mom, your dogs, your friends, and if they haven't voted already, get them out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I have to hope is that this panic and desperation and throwing everything but the kitchen sink at us is they see this blue tsunami coming. I think they didn't count on this amount of, early voting and all. That's why they're desperate to stop it,
Yeah.
right? And to stop mail-in voting because I think they see what's coming. Because it also, that's what we keep saying, it mitigates whatever they're planning, October surprise and election day shenanigans with voter intimidation and sending. Esper said he hasn't ruled out sending the troops in to polling places.
I'm talking about that. That happened yesterday. The Secretary of Defense would not just categorically rule out sending soldiers to polling places. And I think I tweeted, he's got 3, 2, 1 to change his mind. That was for Trump. But by this morning, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, will be kicking his butt left, right, and center. And you're going to hear from General Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you're going to reluctantly hear from Esper, and they're going to go back on that.
Yeah.
The armed forces of the United States will not do this.
Yeah.
Anyone who leaves their base to do it is following out an illegal order, and we have, at that point you can arrest them.
This is like you say, Malcolm. The only cure: vote early, vote early. Whether you're doing it in person, vote by mail, do it. I did a drop box. I got to track your ballot that it's been accepted and received. Do whatever you're going to do, as you say, and get everybody to do it as soon as you can in your state. I would say.
Blow out the margin, and then start doing. You know what? I'm going to start sending pizzas to these polls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
People waiting 10 hours,
yep.
They deserve some pizza. So if anybody out there goes, hey, Malcolm, these polls here need some pizza, call me.
Okay.
Send me a tweet,
Yep.
and we'll get that going. Because I want everyone to be healthy when they cast their vote and happy, and to feel that they took part in the most historic election in the history of the United States. It might be the most
important thing.
That's what this is.
Might be the most important thing any of us do in our lives, honestly. Love you, Malcolm. Thank you.
The history of the United States.
Yep, absolutely.